again for Fantasy Sunday. Asher is with us again. Tom is with us. I'll get this out of the way real quick. I'm going to be sidetracked today. You're going to get most of your good information out of these two today. But because I'm watching Manchester United, if you hate me because I watch soccer, screw you, but whatever. How's it going, boys? What's up, Tom?
Same old, same old. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. Asher, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good to have you. Big chilling. Yeah. Absolutely. It's good to be back. Finally able to wear some Minnesota gear, considering the Vikings are on bye this week. And Minnesota, the Gophers got a big dub against Maryland yesterday. But yeah, no. For those that don't know, I know I've said this with the Tav Nation, but on game days, I cannot wear any Minnesota sports gear, whether it's baseball, football, does not matter. No matter what kind of gear I'm wearing, if I wear gear on game day, they're destined to lose historically bad. So
yeah, no, I'm totally all in on that. I feel that once the Browns made the playoffs last year, for the second game versus the Chiefs, the second playoff game, I changed my socks that I've been wearing for every game day, and they lost. So it was terrible. But I totally feel that.
Every Vikings jersey I've bought in the past. I bought a Brett Favre jersey. He almost brought us to the Super Bowl. That damn Bounty Gate. I bought an AP jersey right before he tore his ACL. I bought a Percy Harvin jersey as soon as we drafted him. Man could not get out of concussion protocol to save his life. It's been bad. I have two Twins jerseys, and this is what started the curse. I bought a Carlos Gomez. He got traded the next year to the Brewers, and then a Brian Dozier. He was one of my all-time favorite Twins players, and that man ended up getting traded to the Dodgers for a playoff push. Unreal. I just can't do it. I can't buy jerseys anymore.
I feel you. Well, just don't buy a Justin Jefferson jersey because I kind of like him, and it sounds like you are a curse.
Yeah, that's why I bought his college jersey, not the Vikings jersey.
Good.
I was gonna say, didn't he have a college jersey of him? Does that half count as a curse?
No, it hasn't been a curse yet. I bought the college jersey as soon as he got drafted by the Vikings. I needed to, and he did great his rookie year and is still doing great now. So
yeah. Speaking of old LSU guys, I think it's about time we bring up just overall with fantasy league wide. I don't know, especially all the good leagues I'm in. Everyone was so down on Ja'Marr Chase, and he's probably going to be a top 8, top 10 receiver this year in fantasy. He's insane. It's been awesome. I'm so happy that. Go ahead.
No,
you're good. All I was going to say is that I'm just happy that he got auto drafted to me in all of my leagues. I don't know how, but he's on my team, and I'm very excited. And I think it also just goes to show you that you can't judge preseason and things like that. It's just, I don't know.
Auto drafted.
You auto drafted? Yeah, Tom will tell you, 2 of the drafts that I was in, I zoned out for one round, and he was the next up, and so
wow.
I got him.
That is solid because a lot of people at the beginning of the season were worried about Ja'Marr Chase because he had problems catching the ball. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow comes out and says, I have no worries. He's going to do great. And guess what? He is doing great. Joe Burrow loves that connection. I love Ja'Marr Chase. Everyone's like, hey, sell him high while you have him right now. Just sell him high. And I did not sell him. I sat on him in every league that I have him in. I continue to start him. He's continuing to put up numbers, and I'm not willing to sell on him.
I got you.
Remember that stupid story that he was trying to pass to the media? I 100% think that he was just trying to make himself slept on with this theory. He 100% was trying to make everyone think that he was awful because he had that whole story where he's like, oh man, it's just harder tracking the football without the white lines on it. What do you mean? You're doing this professionally, right? So
and he's talking about the aspects of the football, come on,
exactly, and how it spins or whatever. So I truly think this was all a ploy to make sure he was slept on, so that he can maybe potentially make a push for Rookie of the Year over the quarterbacks.
That was Justin Jefferson's issue last year. He should have been, and any other year he should have been offensive player or rookie.
Offensive rookie. Yep.
Yeah, offensive rookie of the year. But Justin Herbert, I hats off to him. He performed last year for the Chargers. So
yeah, well,
I can't be mad about it.
obviously, a lot of guys that we're talking about will obviously come across today when we, talk about the rankings, who we're starting, who we're sitting. But yeah, Tom, I before I got on, I was gonna send my buddy the link because he always like floods me on Sundays with like a million questions. I'm like, just watch the show and ask the questions, dude. Oh yeah, so I saw a video break that Zach Wilson basically took 2 BYU cheerleaders to like their prom at BYU or something like that. I don't know. Go look it up.
Not did they have prom in college?
No.
That's a weird thing. I agree. But then like the video was of like 2 cheerleaders went to him with prom. I don't know if he was in high school and they went with him in high school. I don't know. I don't know what goes on out there in Utah.
Power move.
That would make sense. That's a huge power move by BYU to send 2 of their cheerleaders to go to prom with Zach Wilson. That's a
in Hawaii, by the way, because he's from Hawaii. Like
that's a huge. I mean, those 2 girls obviously weren't going to say no.
Power move. It's a power move.
Biggest power move.
If anything, honestly, I got to tell you, it makes me like Zach Wilson more. I almost like I have nothing against Mormons and any of that. I honestly just don't understand it culturally. Like I just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. But it would be so awesome if like we finally like they get the Mormons get like a great quarterback, and then he just comes out like 2 years from now. He's like, yeah, I'm not Mormon anymore. Like I don't want to do this anymore. Every girl in New York wants to be with me, so I'm gonna go do that. Like it was great to grow up in the Mormon thing, but. You know what? I'm taking the road home. So
I had no clue he was a Mormon.
I think you have to be to go to BYU. You know what?
I don't think so.
I have no idea what goes on. I like I said, I don't know. They get like 28-year-old quarterbacks. I don't know what goes on there. So I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
If anything, like you said, if anything, that story makes me like him more. That because it's a total power move. It's a flex.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so
bye.
Okay,
so bye.
Okay, yeah. So
he's like, all right, I'm tapped out for today. I'm tapped out. I'm out. Here he is.
You didn't lose me. Sorry, I gotta re-upload this like bug on my computer where like if I click off this tab, it like reloads all the time. So. It might happen again, it might not, but I gotta get used to
that. So funny. You're like, yeah, okay, so and then bye.
And then bye.
I saw it reloading. I was like, God damn it.
Oh, we're having a good time. Asher's having the best time though, because it's not 11 in the morning for Asher, and he gets to actually drink during the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with drinking at 11 in the morning in America either.
I mean, you know what they say about day drinking? You can't be day drinking unless you start in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I will never do that ever again in my entire life. Like thinking of that just brings misery to my mind. But
the shitty thing is that I moved out here when I was 21, so obviously I couldn't drink when I was back in the States in the Air Force. But as soon as I move out here, I find out that they don't care if 18-year-olds drink, even if you're in the military out here. So I'm like, I came at the wrong time. This should have been my first base.
Yeah. Exactly. So what I was getting to, Tom, I think you keep track of our stardom sleepers for the week, or at least you keep yours. I think go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to point out last week I took the show from home and I had it on my whiteboard at home. And because I'm a moron, I did not take a picture of it. So I don't have mine from last week.
Okay. If I remember most of it, it was pretty bad, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, ours was like it was pretty bad. I don't think yours was as bad, Asher, but basically I think like everyone I picked like played terrible. So hopefully we'll be better this week. I don't know. Go ahead, Asher.
I didn't keep track of any of my picks, but
no worries. Yeah, no worries.
For the next couple of weeks, I mean, if you guys want me back, I'll start keeping track of my picks.
Sure. I mean, I'll maybe jot them down every once in a while, but we'll keep track of that from now on. No worries. Any of the games today exciting you? Who do the Jets play, Tom? I don't even know. Oh, they play the Patriots, correct? Okay. What are you feeling about that?
I think the last time the Jets beat the Patriots was like in a regular season game. I should throw out there was like 2001, 2002. So I would like to sit here and think that a streak needs to be broken at some point. However, Zach Wilson probably is still going to throw some picks. So, that being said, how am I feeling about it? It's all right. You know, I'm interested to watch the game, but it also could be over by halftime. So we're just going to see how things go. Maybe Asher, maybe I do end up going and taking that 2-hour nap in the middle of the day.
I mean, a lot of the games this week are kind of lopsided for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have 7 teams on bye, a lot of powerhouses in Buffalo, Dallas. I mean, I'm not going to consider Minnesota because that'd be biased, but Los Angeles as well. You have a lot of good teams on bye this week. Plus, you have Kansas City going against Tennessee. Tennessee has not been doing well this year. Sorry. I mean, you got Baltimore against Cincy, Arizona against Houston. Like all these powerhouses are kind of playing some weak teams. So a lot of these games could be over by half. The game that I'm most intrigued about though is the Saints at Seattle, the Monday night matchup. And the reason I'm excited about this game is because if Seattle wants any playoff hopes, period, and they lose this game, obviously Geno's not cutting it for them while Russell Wilson's on the IR. And I think if Seattle loses this game, they might actually make a bigger push to acquire Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Right on cue with what I was going to say. I think Cam Newton is the easy guy right now that you plug and play. Yeah, I do we think the Seahawks are still playoff contenders? Because I don't know.
So they actually could be. Theoretically, they really could be. They have a solid squad. Obviously not a great defense, but once Russell Wilson comes back, he makes magic out of anything. So you need a quarterback in a plug and play system, and I'm sure Cam Newton would want to play anywhere at this point. So if you bring Cam Newton in, he can actually win games. Russell Wilson comes back and they start winning more games. So they could be a playoff contender right now, though. No.
Yeah, I have zero faith in the Seahawks. I actually did not love them even before Russ got hurt to make the playoffs. Asher, I don't know if you were there for that show that we talked about it, but I had made the statement at the beginning of the season that the NFC West was the toughest division in football. And we're starting to see that now as the Rams are a one-loss team, or do they have 2 losses? One right.
Loss team.
The Rams are a one-loss.
They're third in my power rankings.
Yeah, the Rams are a one-loss team. The Cardinals are undefeated. Yeah. Was it or was it the Cardinals?
It was the Cardinals.
Oh, no, it was the Cardinals. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It was one of them. But yeah, so the Rams are a one-loss team. The Cardinals are undefeated. The 49ers are somehow okay, I think, or they're like a 500 team, but they've been dealing with injuries galore as usual. And then there's the Seahawks. So at the beginning of the season, I said that this was the toughest division in football. Starting to see that kind of come through now, but I didn't even like the Seahawks to really contend in their division because of how difficult the other teams are.
You know what would be interesting to me is if Seattle doesn't make that push for Cam Newton. I think, in my honest opinion, the 49ers should. Jimmy G just isn't cutting it. He's not a pass-first quarterback, and you don't have a reliable running back in that system. Raheem Mostert, injured all the time. Elijah Mitchell, he's great, but it seems like he's injury-prone now too. Mm-hmm. Who are you going to go to? JaMychal Hasty that you just activated from your practice squad? Jared McKinnon, Jared McKinnon's not on the team anymore. You have a lot of sketchy running backs in that system. So why not get Cam Newton? Give him the weapons in Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Kittle comes back. Like Cam could eat in that system theoretically.
The only issue with that is the fact that they took Trey Lance 3rd overall, and he actually performed okay in relief.
Yeah, but Trey Lance, I don't think they should rush to start him right now.
I agree. I'm not advocating that he start, but they already have a quarterback controversy between him and Garoppolo. To throw Cam Newton into the fold and make it a 3-quarterback competition, I think that you're just causing more problems. And honestly, you could stunt the development of Lance if he has to go through not 1 but 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I would say that out of all the rookies we've seen so far that played this year, I think Trey Lance is clearly the most not ready to be in the NFL. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's the youngest. He played 15 college games. That's fine. So I'm kind of in the middle on this one with you guys, where I think if you sign Cam Newton to a 1-year deal, you become more of a contender out in the West. But it's also it's hard to justify signing Cam Newton off the free agency when you traded up
from 12.
From 12 to get to the number 3 to pick him, even though I completely agree Trey Lance shouldn't be playing. But
that's the thing, though, is that I feel like Trey Lance could develop a lot better under Cam Newton than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, I understand he developed under Tom Brady, but at the same time, Trey Lance, I feel like is going to have more of a passing game than Jimmy Garoppolo does, and I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo just doesn't rely on his passing game as much as he should.
So I agree with you that excuse me, working under Cam Newton could be beneficial for Lance, because I can honestly see them having a very similar style to their game with the rushing attack ability as well as the arm. Because I think Cam Newton was one of the better dual threat quarterbacks when he was at his peak for that one season. But it could be beneficial to sit down with Lance if you're Newton. And I don't know if he's going to want to do this because he's going to be fighting for a starting job to get a contract again. But, if you're the Niners, you bring in Newton, you can have him sit him down and be like, hey, these 3 things really messed me up in this, and you should try and avoid that. And Lance could potentially learn from that. I agree. But similarly, like I said, Newton's going to be out there playing for the next contract. He's going to be trying to get back into the league and into the starting spot. So I think that it's going to be kind of hard, kind of like a Tom Brady situation with Garoppolo, where Garoppolo was looking to learn under him, and Brady said, screw that. I don't mentor people. Get him out of here if you're going to have him threaten my job. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a very weird dynamic to try and say throw Cam Newton in there.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like Garoppolo benefited more sitting under Tom Brady for all those years. I don't think Tom Brady was trying to push him out, but I think Garoppolo actually looked at Tom Brady and kind of mentored Tom Brady by himself without Tom Brady actually having to do much about it. The only problem is that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have the drive to push games to the next level. Obviously, he brought his team to great lengths for San Francisco. He's done well in the playoffs, but at the same time, he's relied on his run game heavily. He's not much of a pass first quarterback, and I feel like Trey Lance needs somebody to develop under that is a pass first quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I see both sides of the story here.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I do either, or I don't either. This is just a very weird situation.
Yeah.
I also would say, I get that you might want to sit Trey Lance behind Cam Newton because it's more of maybe his style or whatever. I don't think Cam Newton is out there yet to be mentoring young quarterbacks. I don't think he's the type of personality, the type of guy. And maybe it would work out kind of like Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo, where you just learn Tom Brady not really teaching him. So I can kind of agree with that. But I also Cam doesn't come across as a guy that's going to go up to Trey Lance and spend half an hour after practice with him teaching him stuff. But
no, and by no means am I trying to compare connection with Cam Newton and Trey Lance to Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. And in no right mind would I ever try to compare those two systems. But I mean, I feel like Trey Lance could learn more under Cam Newton than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's all I was trying to get at.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I agree to a certain extent.
All right. Anyway. Let's get moving. Let's go to the injury report. Like I said, I'm going to be switching tabs. So if I close out, just keep going it yourself, but I'll hop back in. But the injury report for the weekend, Terrence Marshall is out from the Panthers. You guys can just pop in whenever you want. The Giants have everybody out.
Kenny Galladay's not playing.
Do we know Slayton or Shepard? Because those are two, I would argue, pretty important guys.
Shepard is still a game time decision.
Mm-hmm.
Slayton's also questionable as well. I'll try and look more of that up. The Jets are relatively healthy except for Mosley.
That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck for you guys.
We're gonna get our cheeks ran now.
Yeah, the Giants are going to be missing Barkley, Kenny Galladay, and Kadarius Toney this week. Yeah. So if Shepard does play, dude, he's a huge play this week.
He's a I would honestly put him as a lock. Like you have to play him if you have him.
He's a must start this week.
He's already kind of a must start because whenever he plays a full game, he gets anywhere between 17 and 24 points. But if he's the true wide receiver 1 in that system, we could maybe see a little breakout game if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, right.
I'm also looking at the injury report, and I'm looking at the Patriots. If the Jets ever want a chance to beat the Patriots, it might be this week. They should be able to throw on them a little bit. Jonathan Jones is out, and Shaun Wade is out.
Really?
Yeah. Questionable. Shaq Mason, Godshaw, the defensive lineman. Barmore is questionable. Dietrich Wise, Hightower. Van Noy. But now that I'm reading this is, I feel like Belichick always does this. Belichick always just puts a ton of people on the questionable.
But did you say who's the first guy that you said was truly out?
Oh, Jonathan Jones, the corner.
Jonathan Jones. Got it.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was J.C. Jackson, but it is not.
Yeah. Jonathan Jones is still pretty good.
No, I know. If J.C. Jackson was out, that'd be honestly amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking through all. I just went to NFL.com and I'm looking through all of the the injuries on the Patriots. This must just be a Belichick thing where he's just putting everybody questionable. I don't know. I mean, if all these players don't play that is underneath the Patriots now, I don't know if they can field the team. So whatever, we'll see with that. I'm not seeing any big ones out yet. Tyreek Hill is still questionable.
You could actually. You came back all giddy. You came back all smiley and giddy. What's up?
Nothing. I'm good.
He's just happy to be here.
Absolutely. Action.
The Titans, Lawan's out. Julio.
But wait, Taylor Lewan plays for Buffalo. Remember that guy at the end of Monday night? Did I send that to you, Justin?
No, I saw it.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah. I meant to send it to you. Funniest piece of reporting that I've seen in a minute.
That was Chris Broussard too.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you say Julio's out?
It says he's questionable.
Oh yeah, it says he's expected to play.
Okay, yeah. Also, everyone in any of my fantasy leagues, stop trying to offer me Julio Jones. I don't want him.
Is that Sean?
Dude,
is that my league?
Whoever it is in your league, gives me a trade every day, and I say no to all of them.
Oh man, he was talking to me about it recently. He was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever that Brownlow whatever guy is starting to get mad at me for all my trade offers." I'm like, "Sean, what are you offering him?" He's like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. They're pretty shit offers."
I don't say anything, but I'm just like every day I just log into Sleeper and I go to that league and it's just like someone's offering me a trade for Julio Jones.
Yeah,
like they want to send me five. They wanted to send me Julio Jones and like 3 other players and for Jamar Chase, and I was like, I can't even fit this many guys on my roster, dude.
Sean's a bum. That's all I'm gonna say.
Back to the injuries. Curtis Samuel is out. Obviously, also I'm going to be checking Twitter so we can double check these as we go through the show.
I've been keeping up with my Twitter.
Cool. But also out for the football team is Cosmi and Scherf. And questionable is Antonio Gibson and William Jackson, the corner, which is kind of a big deal, but not really. Antonio Gibson is questionable. I would expect him to play, but without those 2 offensive linemen, that might be a tough day for them. The Packers, nobody really. Kevin King, but he's terrible. Falcons only have 2 players out. Dante Fowler, Avery Williams, doesn't matter. Devontae Parker is questionable for the Dolphins. Xavier Howard, and basically their whole secondary. So that's good.
Byron Jones, man.
Yeah, that might be good for. Oh, they know who they play. The Falcons at the Dolphins. Well, that's going to be a high-scoring slugfest.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. Don't you worry.
So Slayton, John Ross, and Evan Ingram are expected to play.
Okay.
Sterling Shepard is still a game-time decision. That just came
of course he is.
Ash, I don't know if you heard me, but I was reading off the Patriots. It seems like everyone in the Patriots is questionable, but I think it's just a Bill Belichick thing. I think they'll mostly end up playing.
Yeah, Damien Harris is playing. from what I heard or from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean they have like 25 guys that are questionable, so they can't even field a team if like it comes to that. So yeah, it must be a Belichick thing.
Yeah.
Where was I? Falcons, Dolphins, Bengals, pretty much healthy. Ravens, without Latavius Murray, I'm sure one of you will bring up Devonta Freeman later.
I'm not.
Nope.
He's going to be the starting running back for the Ravens this week.
Yeah, but they also got Le'Veon Bell that they just promoted from the practice squad. And when Bell is playing, or when Bell is in your system, you almost want to play him.
Gotcha.
Not in fantasy.
If that were true,
in football. So in a real life football system, that's what I'm trying to say. Not in fantasy.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like if that were the case, then he wouldn't have been on the practice squad in the first place.
They only picked him up because they had so many injuries at running back.
I know, but and maybe I'm just still spiteful because he sucked when he was with the Jets. Who knows?
He did.
Yeah, that's probably it. I hold a lot of hatred in my heart for old Browns players. DeAndre Swift and Hawkinson are questionable. I have no idea. I don't have a feel for either of those guys because at this point I think the Lions have to be trying to lose. Like they need the number 1 pick. They're playing the Rams. Like Jesus, what does anyone know what the spread on that is? It's got to be like 21.
Well, this is Rams a Matt Stafford revenge game.
So, the Rams are going to do damage. That's all you need to know about it.
Oh, nice play, Mason.
I lucked out. Oh well.
I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is a Matthew Stafford revenge game. I think it's more of a Jared Goff revenge game.
Yeah, after what came out about the trade talks and the whole drama that happened behind Sean McVay and Jared Goff during the trade talks. Yeah, Jared Goff wants some payback, so I think TJ Hawk actually might have a good game.
Well, I say it's the Matt Stafford revenge game so that he can get back at them for 10 years worth of pain when he was playing with them. I got you. I'm playing them.
I hear what you're saying, but it's also, I think like Matt Stafford, if anything, is going to come away from this game being like, oh my God, thank God they traded me.
Yeah,
like absolutely.
I think he's already said that every night before he goes to bed.
He's already saying that. He doesn't need this game to say that.
He's just going to be like, hey, by the way, this is what I can be without your crappy organization.
He's 5-1 with a team right now.
That's true.
He's 5-1 and is putting up career numbers right now. I don't think he doesn't need this game to say that. So I think it's more of a Jared Goff revenge game, but I see where you're coming at.
I'm messing around. I don't know.
Texans Cardinals. This is pretty shocking. Deshaun Watson is out.
Shocker!
Wow, no way. Are you serious?
Nothing Deshaun from Watson?
I'm dumbfounded. This is an outrage.
Oh come on, get there. Cardinals. All three of their looks like Hicks, Kennard, and Vallejo are all questionable.
We were just talking Sterling Shepard. The Ian Rappaport just said that he is out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
He just tweeted it. I swear to God, he just tweeted it. I'm so mad. Now I need to go get Darius Slayton. God damn it.
Yeah, we're slating that.
God damn it. They got to score there. Fuck. All right. The Bears, Akeem Hicks, that doesn't really matter. Questionable. Jakeem Grant, Allen Robinson. That's pretty much it for them. Has Allen Robinson been one of the biggest disappointments in fantasy so far this year?
Yes, but it's not his fault.
I agree. That's
the only answer you could have. It's yes, but it's not his fault.
This is gross, but I currently have 3 Giants wide receivers on my team.
That is an unfortunate statement.
Galladay. You have Crowder too?
No,
Crowder's a Jet.
On the Giants.
Yep, whatever. Same thing.
I have Galladay, I have Shepard, and I just picked up Slayton.
So I have a question for you boys.
Any other option?
I have a question for you boys. I'm in a keeper league where I got both Zach Wilson in the 12th and Trey Lance in the 15th. And I have them both, but I also have Justin Herbert. So I'm thinking with Herbert on bye and Wilson or Lance out, I have to start Wilson which sucks. But I do have Shepard currently in one of my flex spots. Do I cut Trey Lance or do I cut Trey Sermon because he's been playing like crap?
I would cut Trey Sermon.
Yeah. I wanted to hang on to Trey Sermon for so long, and eventually I just cut him. Like, I don't know why he's not playing in San Fran, but
I think Elijah Mitchell is just better.
Yeah,
all around. He's just a better running back.
Really doesn't
well, but my real issue comes that I have Joe Mixon and Damon Harris as my 2 running backs. Hypothetically speaking, Sermon should have been my 3, and I currently have Rashad Penny, who I picked up because he's apparently going to play after coming off injury on Monday night, which I'm very excited for. I love Rashad Penny.
All right, so I just got a new update. Julio Jones, AJ Brown, Antonio Gibson, and Evan Ingram are all in this week.
Yes.
Devontae Parker, Ramondre Stevenson, Sterling Shepard, Saquon, Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Curtis Samuel, and Tevin Coleman are all out.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right. On to wow, this is huge. Antonio Brown's out for the Bucks, along with Gronk still, and Levante David and Sherman. OJ Howard's questionable. Who's their 3rd tight end?
There's OJ Howard, Cameron Brate, and Gronk.
It's Cameron Brate.
Yep.
Oh God.
Cameron Brate might be a huge pickup this week. If you guys see him on your waiver wire and you need a tight end, I'd recommend streaming him.
Okay. Sorry. I'm getting caught up in the game. I'm sorry. T.Y. Hilton is out for the Colts.
Unfortunate.
Also, Trey Lance is out for the 49ers, and left tackle Trent Williams is also doubtful. So, unfortunately for all you out there that love him, Taysom Hill will not be playing tomorrow with a concussion. Be a big blow to the Saints, I'm sure.
Mormon missile is down.
That's huge.
The Seahawks, Alex Collins is questionable, which kind of stinks because
please, I need him to be out if I want a chance at winning this week. Because, like I said, I have Rashad Penny, man. He's supposed to have a big game if he gets the chance back. I need it.
Yeah, well, that is the injury report. Like I said, we will be updating it once they come flying in. I think the only thing to do now is get to our sit-em, start-em, and sleepers. And then I have some actual personal questions, and then we'll take some questions as well. All right, so let's start with what do you start with? Starting. Let's start your starting quarterback.
Ashley, would you like to go first?
My starting quarterback? Absolutely, I would love to. Yeah. So hold on, let me pull up my notes real quick. All right, so my starting quarterback is going to be Jalen Hurts against Las Vegas. So it's not your normal, stardom quarterbacks, but Jalen Hurts, he's proven that he can put up numbers. He has turned this offense into a very versatile offense for Philadelphia, and against Las Vegas, who's been struggling not only in the coaching department but also in the defensive department. I think Jalen Hurts has a great game this week. He's my starting quarterback.
Love that pick. He was a guy that I was looking at as well. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. Justin and I have talked about Jalen Hurts specifically after his draft, where he went to the Eagles in the 2nd round. But I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. I just really hate the fact that he's on the Eagles with no receivers. With that, I will, if Justin's good with it, I will go with my starter quarterback, and I'm going with Ryan Tannehill versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Tannehill had I would say, and actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say modest game versus Buffalo last week.
Who?
Tannehill.
Oh, yeah. No.
I would say modest is probably the best word for it.
I mean, he played like everyone thought he would play throughout his career. So I guess modest would be a good word for it.
Right. He got carried by Derrick Henry. But the Chiefs are different. The Chiefs, you're going to need to move the ball through the air, and that's where they're most susceptible. The Chiefs are currently 2nd in most fantasy points giving up given up to the quarterback position. So the way you beat the Chiefs and the way that we've seen the Chiefs not pull out a victory throughout the first couple weeks of the season here is teams destroy them in the air, and they, do the defensive formula that they talked about, where they beat up Kelsey a little bit. They put 2 high safeties to cover Tyreek Hill, and they make Mahomes rush out of the pocket. Do I think Tennessee's defense is good enough to do that? Absolutely not. But if they are going to win, they're going to need to rely on Tannehill and his weapons of Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. So I'm going with Tannehill versus the Chiefs.
As your stardom?
As my starter, yes.
Wow, all right.
I don't want to disagree with you. I find it very hard to start any quarterback that's going to play for Tennessee this year just because they're going to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 30 times. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but it is what it is. Mine's pretty easy. I got his T-shirt on. Kyler Murray versus Houston. Houston is very bad. I know we started out by saying this year that Houston they're professional football players. They're not going to get killed. They got killed by the Colts last week. Of course, and
the Colts own the Texans, man. That's just been
so I like Kyler Murray. I could just easily say you should start every Cardinals player you have, but I won't say that. But definitely start Kyler Murray. It could be probably his best game. All right. What about your sit, Asher? We'll start with you. I'm keeping track of them, so don't worry.
Starter running back. Starter running back. Yeah, we do all our starters, then we'll do our sits, and then sleeper.
All right, so my starter running back this week is going to be Darrell Henderson for the Rams against Detroit. Detroit has a very weak run defense, and it's the Rams against Detroit. Let's be real. Darrell Henderson is the starting running back, and starting running backs do historically good against Detroit. So Darrell Henderson is my lock this week.
Love that. They're going to have a lot of opportunities, too. That Rams defense is going to get them a lot of opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
Agree with that. I am going, and I know he's kind of been all over the board for me the last couple weeks. I've had him as a start. I've had him as a sit. I've had him as a sleep. This week, though, I'm putting Chuba Hubbard as my starter running back versus the Giants. The Giants are terrible. We just watched them last week. Who did they play last week? I know they got destroyed. I just had it.
Oh, they got beat by I don't know, but keep going.
Oh, it was the Rams. we were just talking. They got absolutely obliterated by the Rams. And this Panther offense, while it's not quite the caliber of the Rams offense, it's still good enough, especially for the running back position, where we just watched Darrell Henderson. I believe he put up I want to say 18, 19 points last week. I can pull that up while I look.
I got it.
Henderson. He put up 24, excuse me. He put up 24 points on the Giants last weekend, and the Giants are currently 7th in most points given up to the running back position. Most of that comes straight off the ground, not even factoring in all of the PPR points that Hubbard has the potential to get. So I think that Hubbard is an absolute stud this week, and I don't really see a way that the Giants are going to be able to shut him down.
No, I agree with it. I'm going to say this. The Carolina Panthers did come in and say they're gonna change their identity. They want to go back to the running game, even though Christian McCaffrey's out. They wanted to kind of change it up because they started 3-0 with Sam Darnold. They're like, all right, well maybe Sam Darnold could be a stud, but he hasn't proven that in the air. So I feel like with this new identity change, Chuba Hubbard could be a huge asset to that offense.
100%.
Yeah,
big Chuba Hubbard fan.
Like I said, this is probably going to be a week where you end up doing great, Tom. I just don't – I'm going to disagree with you again. I just don't see the Chuba Hubbard thing. He's been starting for the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks. He's done absolutely nothing. But whatever, it's your pick.
Well,
whatever's your pick, it's your pick.
When you say he's done nothing, what do you mean by he's done nothing?
I mean, it's like there are a lot of other running backs to pick over him.
You could say that about literally any selection.
But like everyone, like people keep expecting Chuba Hubbard to like come in and fill Christian McCaffrey's shoes. Like he's nowhere near close to it. Like how many points is he supposed to get today? I will bet you right now he doesn't get more than 10.
It's projected for 14.
I'll tell you right now. I bet you right now he doesn't get more than 10. 11.
I'm taking the.
I would take you up on that. I'm taking the over by far.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
I'm taking the over on Hubbard.
My stardom running back is actually a good running back. So
it's actually a good running back.
I don't know who they play.
Real quick.
Okay, so my starting running back is Alvin Kamara. They play the Seahawks this weekend. Seahawks have the second worst run defense in the NFL, and they also aren't going to be able to control or have a lot of the possession for most of the game just because they're not good on offense. So Kamara, easy. Give me the money. Stupid Chuba Hubbard sucks. Shut up, Tom. All right.
Would you ever bench Kamara?
You don't bench Kamara.
You know, like, would you bench him?
No.
Yeah.
When?
When he's on his bye.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
Starting wide receiver.
My bench quarterback's going to be Justin Herbert because he's on bye this week.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Bruh.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, who's your starting wide receiver? Tom, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Well, the way that
I want to warn you. I'm gonna start getting really angry. United's down 2-0 already. So,
Justin, if you need to excuse yourself for a quick rage sesh, you go right for it. No one will know.
Just go ahead, Tom.
No one will know but us. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just go.
So, for my starter wide receiver, we were talking about him a little bit earlier. We just saw him come off a 2-touchdown performance. I'm going with Jalen Waddle versus Atlanta this week. Atlanta is 30th in points given up, or 30th in pass defense overall, and like I think it's second or third in points to wide receivers or something close to that. I understand there has been, and we're going to talk about this again later, but there have been the rumblings with Deshaun Watson potentially to Miami. And, you know, like I said, I'm tipping my hand a little bit, but I think Tua is going to kind of have that fire under him that most people do when they start talking trade talk, and he's going to play to the occasion and hopefully beat the Falcons because the Falcons are not that good overall. And on paper, the Dolphins should be a relatively decent football team. So if Tua's going to be throwing it through the air and tearing up this Atlanta defense with Devonta Parker and Preston Williams out, it's going to be looking for his man Waddle. So I'm taking Waddle all the way to the house today.
Yeah, always a great decision to pick a starting wide receiver that doesn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball. That's good. Asher, you're up.
He's on edge.
I know.
He's on edge. All right, my starter wide receiver is going to be Deebo Samuel. I'm going Deebo Samuel strictly because of the fact that he has proven that he should be the wide receiver one in that system. I understand Brandon Ayuk. He's a great wide receiver, but Deebo Samuel has just been going off. And they're going against Indianapolis Colts this week, who don't have a great pass defense. So I see them looking towards Deebo Samuel a lot this game. He's my starter wide receiver.
Yeah, no, I think that in the Colts DBs, they're still banged up, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Even from the whatever game, the Ravens game 2 weeks ago. My starting wide receiver is Jamar Chase. They play the Ravens. Ravens are 31st in pass defense, which is kind of crazy because they have one of the better corners in Marlon Humphrey. But I like Jamar Chase. I think he is close to, if not putting up a touchdown a game at least. He's close to that if he hasn't, maybe missed 1 or 2 games. He's clearly Joe Burrow's favorite target, and he's kind of the first receiver we've seen since DK Metcalf maybe that just needs to run a straight line, and he's going to get open, and he's going to catch the ball. Like he's faster, he's stronger than most DBs. But, yeah, I like Jamar Chase a lot. That's why I was talking about him earlier.
Did you see that big man block that he had for Joe Mixon last week?
Yeah, bro. He let him score. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out and do that. I'm that man. I am that guy. This is why you take me above other wideouts at 5."
Yeah, he put this big man on his ass.
Yes,
literally just took him out, full speed. The momentum not going his way after the hit, and still took him out.
Big blood blocks from Jamar.
Yeah.
Jamar, yeah. Okay. Start your tight ends. Asher, we're back to you.
Yeah, my starter tight end this week is going to be Mike Gesicki for the same reasons that Tom went with Waddle. They're going against a very poor Atlanta defense, very poor in the pass rush, and Mike Gesicki is coming off a great couple games the past couple weeks. And I mean, Mike Gesicki, he is a tight end that most people are going to see as a sleeper in most weeks, but at the same time, I feel like he has the potential to put up Mark Andrews numbers, Darren Waller numbers. Like Mike Gesicki is a physical specimen, and when he gets his hands on the ball, he can do something with the ball. So I'm going Mike Gesicki as my starter tight end.
Yeah, I like that pick. Didn't we draft him, Tom? And then
we did. No, he's still on the team, I believe.
Oh, he is. Okay,
I believe he's actually starting for us because we had George Kittle.
Oh yeah, George Kittle hasn't played a game.
Yeah.
Tom, who's your tight end?
I am going with, and I know we sort of talked about it already, but I'm going with Tyler Higbee. Detroit's defense is just very poor, and it's something that does not excite me at all. And we haven't really seen that breakout game from Tyler Higbee that we have all been expecting. I think this could potentially be it because the Lions have not played well versus tight ends. First 3 weeks of the seasons, they gave up a huge game to George Kittle and a big enough game against Mark Andrews, and then I forget the third tight end that they played. But the Higbee, I think, is atop the red zone receiver list, I think, for Stafford. He's looking for him because he loves using tight ends deep in the red zone there, which can only lead to touchdown opportunities. So I am going with Tyler Higbee.
I like that pick. I like Tyler Higbee. He's kind of, I think he probably is he might be their main target in the red zone.
Him or Cooper Kupp. It's one of the two, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. My starting tight end is Kyle Pitts from Falcons. They're going up against Miami, who even when their guys are playing this year, their corners and Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, they haven't been very good this year. And Miami's pass defense with those two guys out is already terrible as well. I think Kyle Pitts, I think he's finally kind of gotten over the hump where he's kind of used to the NFL game now. Or I'm just saying this that he hopefully does because I have him on every single team. But he's just too athletic and too good of a football player to not be making a much larger impact on the Falcons. And part of that can be on Matt Ryan and they don't have a running game. But he should be he should be the number one target in their offense, I think, especially with Calvin Ridley being out the last couple games. So,
I believe Ridley's back this week, which I think he is back, and I think that should honestly help Pitts because after having that breakout game versus the Jets in London and then having the bye week, I think that Ridley coming back gives the defense another element they have to focus on, which could lead to more opportunities for Kyle Pitts.
I kind of see it the opposite. Sorry. I see it the opposite way. Kyle Pitts was finally able to shine, but that's because he doesn't care about being double covered. He doesn't care about having all the attention on him. He's an athlete. He can make plays when he needs to make plays. And with Calvin Ridley on the offense, that takes away from his touches.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, if you look at the target numbers, Pitts was still getting targeted a bunch. He was double covered a ton and was getting beaten up when he was going up to go get a ball. All
right. Well, that's fair. No, I get it.
I'm saying he just wasn't producing. Yeah. So I'm hoping after having the big game, they're going to be worried about Ridley having a big game. So they'll spread the defense out a little more. Maybe he'll get some more opportunities for single coverage.
Fair enough. I like it.
So before we get to the defense, let's do the defenses real quick, and then I have a question for you guys. Starting defense, Asher, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona Cardinals. It's an easy pick this week.
That was also my pick, so that's good.
I am going with the 49ers versus the Colts for Sunday Night Football tonight. The Colts defense is very streaky, but the one thing that they really have consistently been poor at is protecting Carson Wentz. And I know they get Quentin Nelson back, so it should help the line tremendously. But that 49er pass rush is just insane, and Wentz is not a mobile guy. He's not going to go out and scramble like he did the 1 year before he broke his leg. I'm going with 49ers there.
I disagree. I think Carson Wentz would absolutely love to run and break his leg again. Like I think it's like I think he's like a serial killer, and like he just needs to run around and break his bones to like survive.
All right.
He said wowzers. All right. Just a question overall for you guys, because I can't believe I haven't brought it up before, but obviously I'm a Browns fan. What is if you're looking at Odell Beckham? Let's say the rest of the year he has a decent year, like a decent season, finishes with like 500 yards. What are we looking at Odell Beckham's value come next year fantasy draft time? Because I mean, we seeing him as a top 20 wide receiver still, because I don't know if I'm still seeing him as a 20 or 25 even.
I didn't see him a top 20 wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I think it very much depends on his situation, because I do believe that he's going to get traded eventually. Yeah. So if he ends up going to a team like, if he got traded to the Packers right now, let's say, because that's just easier to tell, right?
Yeah, no, I've seen
his value would go through the ceiling.
I've seen his name linked with the Packers a lot recently.
Well, and the reason I said let's talk about it if he got traded this year, I don't want to say next year he gets traded to the Packers, because we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be returning to the Packers or not, which devalues him a little bit if that's the case. But if in terms of this year, if he got traded to the Packers this year, I think that his value would go through the ceiling. It would be higher than anyone imagined coming into the season this year. And then if he meshes well, performs well, and Aaron Rodgers decides to stay one more year to get his last dance part 2 with Davante Adams before they both peace out, I would say that his value would honestly, I would say it was only maybe a round or two more than where he was drafted this year. In most of my drafts, I saw him go like rounds 8, 9-ish, So if he goes to the Packers, yes, that improves his potential, but we don't know how he would play on the Packers. So I would only give him maybe 7, 8 going into it, just because you're excited about him playing with Rodgers and Adams.
Yeah. I mean, I avoided Odell Beckham at all costs this year. I did not see him as a top 20 wide receiver. In that system with Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, the tight ends they have, and Austin Hooper, David Njoku, even though they don't get as many looks, they rely heavily on their run game. And when they rely heavily on the run game and then decide to go to the pass, I guarantee Baker feels more comfortable with Jarvis Landry than he does with OBJ. Yeah. So I didn't think OBJ was going to have a high impact this year, and I still don't think he does as long as he stays with the Browns.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you're ever going to see Odell the top 10, top 20 wide receiver ever again, unless he, is playing on a team like the Giants again, where he's literally the only target. I think we were all – I mean, obviously I'm a little bit bitter because I'm a Browns fan. He's done absolutely nothing here. But we also look at Odell, like his how he played on the Jets, and he made some incredible catches and he was good. People also forget that he was the only option on the Jets mostly. Like, not the Giants, whatever. They're the two same teams. They're from New York.
At that time, yes. But as of now, if he decided, or if theoretically he got traded back to the Giants, I still am not picking him up. I'd rather have Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay over OBJ any day.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing. I agree. I'm just like, what I'm trying to get at is that, like, I don't think we're ever going to see the Odell Beckham we saw that made the catch. I don't think that'll ever happen again. And I think people finally need to just kind of give up on it.
Let me
Go ahead.
Let me pose this question to you guys, because I just thought of this. What if he goes to the Raiders? Where do you value him? Because they don't really have a number one receiver. Now, they do have Darren Waller, but they don't really have a number one wideout.
If he goes to the Raiders, I feel like that's going to open up Henry Ruggs' game more than OBJ.
That's my feeling as well.
I think Henry Ruggs, it turns out into this breakout wide receiver that we all expected him to be going into the Raiders system. And if OBJ goes to the Raiders, I still see him being downplayed by Henry Ruggs.
That's my feeling as well. That's why I was kind of posing it, because like one of my friends, actually Justin Sean, who's been offering you the trades, brought it up to me. He was like, hey, what about Beckham to the Raiders? What would that do? And I had the same exact thought initially. I was like, Henry Ruggs is just going to be the deep ball. You know, you'd have Beckham and Ruggs, who are both deep ball receivers, along with Waller, who's a big play tight end. You know, I agree 100%. I really don't know where Odell's perfect fit is, because even on a team like the Packers, what is he going to provide for them outside of like the baseline, another receiver that they have to focus on and cover? Right.
I don't think there is any other perfect fit besides the Detroit Lions, because even Detroit Lions wide receiver 1 is a rookie that just came out of nowhere in Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like he should be the wide receiver 1 for their team.
Who's on our taxi squad, Justin?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is, so whatever.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Whatever. And the other comment I want to say before we move on, we all know where Aaron Rodgers is playing next year, correct? Like, you guys all know, right?
No.
Jeopardy?
No, he's 100% going to be playing.
That's what I was thinking too.
He's 100% going to be playing for the Steelers next year. 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's 100% going to play for the Steelers, because the Steelers are going to offer him whatever he wants. They're going to go from Ben Roethlisberger, who's horrible, to Aaron Rodgers, who will probably get it for 2 more years. There is no more perfect fit than Ben Roethlisberger, or than Aaron Rodgers just sliding into Phil over for Ben.
Rodgers with all of those weapons would make me cry. I'm not gonna lie.
Steelers would be a problem. But I mean, I see where you're coming from. There is no more perfect fit than the Steelers, but I don't think he goes to the Steelers.
I don't know. We'll see.
I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been having nightmares about it for, I don't know, the past basically since the NFL season started, and I realized that it's it's just the perfect match made in heaven for them. So I've just been trying to avoid it, but might as well confront it now. It's going to happen.
In my personal opinion, depending on what happens with Deshaun Watson, if he gets cleared of all his cases, I see Deshaun Watson going to the Steelers more than I see Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers. He's a young gunslinger, and if he's cleared of all of his cases, he no longer has an issue off the field. I think the Steelers would much rather have a future than going with Aaron Rodgers for a small Super Bowl window.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think if they would be smart if they went for Deshaun Watson. I think any team, like, I want the brunt. I want if he gets cleared of everything and like there's nothing, whatever, like that is my stipulation. Like, if any of this stuff is like real or he gets actually convicted, then like I don't want anything to do with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think that like everyone should go after Deshaun Watson. But I just think they'll be able to sign Rodgers for cheaper, I think. But yeah, no, I hear that too.
They're definitely not going to be able to sign Rodgers cheaper than Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson's contract is already enormous. He had the 4-year extension.
I don't think people realize just how much I think Aaron Rodgers hates the Packers organization. Like, I think he will go somewhere else and take like a minimum contract just to show them how much he hates them.
I mean, I like the fact that Aaron Rodgers does hate the Packers, because that makes my life a lot easier as a Vikings fan. I'll tell you what, I'll take that all day. But I don't know. I feel like Aaron Rodgers knows what he's worth.
I agree, but like I said, I just think he really, really hates the Packers. But all right, let's get back into a starter sleep. I was going to bring something else up, but I completely forgot what it was. Let's go. What do we do next? Sleep or sit?
Sit
for quarterbacks, I think.
All right, sit your quarterback. Asher, you're up, homie.
All right, so my sit for quarterback this week is going to be And this is going to be a weird one because they are facing a Giants defense, but I'm sitting Sam Darnold this week for the same reasons that, again, Tom went with Chuba Hubbard. I feel like they're going to rely heavily on the run game. You haven't seen much out of the Carolina Panthers wide receivers due to the fact that Sam Darnold is not showing his passing game like most people thought he would. And Sam Darnold, I don't think, is going to have a better game now than he has in the past 6 weeks. So Sam Darnold is going to be my sit quarterback this week.
Okay. Speaking of Sam Darnold, I think we can all officially, jump off the ship that, all that Sam Darnold really needed was a change of scenery. I think we're past that, right, guys? Like, we just know that he's not very good anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just think that now the expectations were so high because he had McCaffrey as a weapon. I think this is the same Sam Darnold that we've seen with the Jets. Except he can run the ball, apparently. I mean,
he's seeing ghosts again.
He's seeing them ghosts again.
God, I would hate to play in New York as a young player.
Everyone would.
Tom, you're sit him.
I am going to stick in the same game as Asher. I am going to be benching Daniel Jones. I put this in before all of the injury news had happened. But I knew Tony was out and I knew Golladay was out. Now with Shepard out as well, I'm 100% sitting Daniel Jones. I think that his start to the season was fantastic, and he has now fallen off the edge of the earth. I mean, he has just played atrociously. Part of it is not his fault. It's partially because of the defenses that he's been going up against in recent weeks. But with his top 3 receiving options out, and you're going to have to rely on Darius Slayton, who has been dealing with drop issues, Dante Pettis, is John Ross out? Asher, did you say, or is he in?
John Ross is in.
When you're relying on your receiving core of Darius Slayton, John Ross, and Dante Pettis, there is no way in hell that I am going to be touching Daniel Jones. I don't care if Evan Ingram's back; he's always hurt, and he doesn't really produce anyway because Jones doesn't like throwing to the tight ends. The only salvage thing he might get is some dump-off passes to Devonta Booker. But there's just no way I'm starting Daniel Jones without those top 3 receiving options. Honestly, if I wanted to play Daniel Jones, I would need 2 out of those 3 people who are out for me to feel comfortable with them.
I have to agree due to the fact that the Panthers defense, regardless of what happened last week with the Vikings, because the Vikings have been proving that their pass game is great, but you don't have the same guys in your system that the Vikings do with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, even the lower guys like KJ Osborne, who is having a breakout season. You don't have those guys in New York, and Daniel Jones is not a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. He's not going to be that stat pusher quarterback that can get the ball to these guys. So I have to agree with that. I think Daniel Jones is an easy sit. I feel like this is going to be an all-run game. It's going to be a battle between Hubbard and Booker.
If that, I mean, the Carolina defense could stuff Booker because their rush defense specifically has been shut out this year.
Yeah, but Booker is a monster. I'm not going to lie. Booker has shown a lot. I think Booker is a fantastic running back, and I feel like he might be matchup worthy or matchup proof is what I'm trying to get at.
I got you.
All right. The game's in New York as well, right?
I
think I'm pretty sure it is. Yes. Daniel Jones is for whatever reason, he's just terrible at home as well.
It's because the Giants fans boo him.
He plays way better on the road. My sim quarterback, Jalen Hurts, going against you here, Asher. I just don't see it with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, all right.
What have you seen from Jalen Hurts?
What I'm seeing this week is he's going to light up in his versatile play style against a weak Las Vegas defense. Without the right coaching and the lack of defense ability, Jalen Hurts might have a solid game.
Okay. I don't think so.
Fair enough. fair enough.
He's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like, no, you're wrong.
Don't be upset. Don't be upset. All right. We're down 3-0 now, guys. So it's real good. Real good. Running backs, sit 'em. Asher, you can start.
All right. Sit 'em running backs. I'm going with Josh Jacobs against Philadelphia. I don't like Josh Jacobs this year at all. I don't like him, period, to be honest with you. I understand that he has had relatively good fantasy numbers since entering the league, but Philadelphia has shown that they can stop the run when they need to. And they're going to have to this game because of the fact that, like I said before, the lack of coaching ability with John Gruden out, I don't think Vegas is going to have an identity on the offense, and I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to be that identity. So I'm going Josh Jacobs as my sit this week.
I like that one. I mean, I had no idea what the Raiders were doing with their running back position when they signed Kenyon Drake in the offseason. So I mean, obviously John Gruden's out now, but just some very weird moves over his career as the coach there. So very weird. But yeah, no, it's crazy that the Raiders have turned two, like possibly running back twos, maybe running back three, into like you can't even play either one of them. So
no, you can't.
Yeah, so I like that pick a lot. Tom.
I don't know who's actually starting, but it doesn't matter to me. Whichever Chicago running back is playing or getting a majority of the carries, just sit on my bench. Honestly, they might be cut worthy. The Chicago run game, we saw Khalil Herbert have a fantastic game last week when he was in the starting position. I believe Damian Williams is back off the COVID list.
Yeah, he is.
But he should eventually now take a back seat to Herbert. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter who starts and it doesn't matter how many touches either get because Tampa Bay is absolutely amazing against the run. Maybe not so much against the air, but the Tampa Bay defense has held every running back that they played up against this year to 70 yards or less. Actually, I don't think anyone has broken 70 yards, so I should say that. And I think they've only allowed 2 rushers to break 50 yards, if I'm correct in that statement, I believe I saw somewhere. So like everything.
No, like I said, Philadelphia's run defense is starting to establish himself. Oh no, sorry, not Philadelphia. My bad.
I was like, what?
No, my bad. I'm sorry. Not Philadelphia. Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa's rushing defense is amazing, and no Chicago running back is going to be breaking that. So this is one of those blowouts that we're going to talk about, but I know most people are like, oh, but Khalil Herbert, he had such a good week last week. Maybe he's different. No, he's not. Just bench him, please. Yeah. For the love of God.
No, Tampa Bay's rush defense is ridiculous.
Nasty.
Yeah, they only give up 54 rushing yards a game.
There you go.
I'm sitting Joe Mixon. They play the Ravens. I think they're going to get down. I think they're going to get down early. And Joe Burrow's going to have to throw them back in the game. So I don't see much of Joe Mixon being used in the running game, at least past halftime, halfway through the second quarter. I do think he'll be a factor in the passing game, but like I said, it seems like Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, and those guys around him, and even CJ Uzomah, I don't know how to say his name.
Uzomah.
Yeah, they have formed kind of a nice bond, and like I said, I just think Baltimore's defense is really good. I think they're going to get up early. I don't know how Baltimore is somehow amazing again, but whatever. But yeah, no, I would sit Joe Mixon this week.
Like,
no comments. Okay.
I wish I could. I mean, he was the first round running back.
Not on my watch. All right. Asher, your sit-em wide receiver.
My sit-em wide receiver, I'm going to stick with the Bengals after that whole Joe Mixon debacle that you just brought up. I'm going Tyler Boyd as my sit-em wide receiver this week. I'm going Tyler Boyd because of the fact that Joe Burrow has obviously established his dominance with Jamar Chase. Ja'Marr Chase has been an absolute monster for that Cincinnati offense. They're going against Baltimore this week. Baltimore does have a lethal defense, not as much as they have in the past, but they do still have a lethal defense. And I think Ja'Marr Chase is going to get more looks. I think Tyler Boyd is kind of been washed out of the system. I feel like if he wants to maintain the talent that he's shown in the past, he might need to move to a new system because now this is Ja'Marr Chase's offense.
Yeah, I feel that. Tom?
I also had Tyler Boyd. I would sit here and try and scramble and find someone else. I mean, like I could go with Brandon Ayuk, but I'm going to stick with Boyd. I know I don't normally like to have duplicates just so that we touch on a bunch of different teams and people. But I really do think Boyd is set now to have a really bad day. As Asher mentioned, the chemistry with Ja'Marr Chase is through the roof. T. Higgins is still there, and he has chemistry with Burrow that we saw mainly last year. But I very much think that Tyler Boyd is now becoming the forgotten man in that offense. And we saw a little resurgence from him when T. Higgins was out. We saw him basically get his exact production to be, in fact. Higgins, the first couple of weeks, was getting 14 points a game, and he got hurt. And when Boyd was filling in for Higgins as the number 2 receiver, he put up like 13 points a game, 14 points a game, something like that. I think that Boyd is almost a forgotten man in this offense who's very touchdown dependent and borderline flex, borderline bench going forward, I think, unless there's another injury.
I absolutely agree. I think with a young quarterback and 2 young wide receivers, I think Joe Burrow is looking for that connection with T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase a lot more than he's looking with Tyler Boyd. So,
yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to stick with the same one with Asher, even though I don't like doing it. I'm going to do it because I feel very strongly about it.
Yeah.
All right. I don't remember when I did my picks, but they were interesting. Some of these are interesting. I honestly don't know why I put this, but I might as well just go with it. Sit Terry McLaurin. I don't know why.
You just killed Asher. He's done. He's down for the count. He's out. He's like, screw this. I'm not coming on this show anymore.
Bro,
well, I know why.
That Joe Mixon and Terry McLaurin.
Are you saying this for DFS by chance?
No. Terry McLaurin. He's going against the Packers, who have the second best pass defense in the NFL, and he's going to be shadowed all game by probably one of the best corners in the NFL, in probably the second best corner in the NFL in Jair Alexander.
He's on IR still.
No, but in my head he's playing, so I'm all good. Terry McLaurin.
Come on, bro.
He's on IR still. If you want to sit here and say that the pass rush is good and they're going to get to Taylor Heineke and Taylor Heineke's not good, like I'll give you that. But that's unfortunate.
All right, you know what? I love my picks. I'm loving them. All right,
Terry McLaurin. What?
Sit them tight ends. Tom, you can start.
I was gonna go one way, but I ended up going another. I don't know how much I really feel about this or how I feel about it. But I'm sitting Gerald Everett versus the Saints. Everett has been pretty touchdown dependent so far this year, but he has been a target for Geno Smith. He didn't catch a lot of balls last week, but he was targeted, I think, a couple of extra times since Geno Smith took over. But I don't think the chemistry is there. I think that after the game versus the Steelers last week, Carroll is going to be getting Geno Smith to look more for his wide receivers. So I think that this could end up a bigger game for a guy like Tyler Lockett, who runs a lot of the short mid routes for them. And then when they stretch the field with DK Metcalf, that could potentially lead to something as well. But I think Geno Smith is going to try and focus more on getting the ball to the outside receivers and to the playmakers more than just the safety net and Gerald Everett. So I'm going to stick with that.
All right, Asher.
Yeah, I'm going to have the same one that I did last week, Robert Tonyan. I'm going to continue to sit Robert Tonyan. until he could prove that he deserves to be a tight end in the NFL. Because right now he's not doing it.
He's tight end 36 right now.
There's 32 teams in the NFL.
Yes.
So you are underperforming than some backup tight ends in the league right now.
Mo Alley Cox is doing better than him.
Yes, and that's saying something.
Hey, don't disrespect Gantor. Mo Alley Cox is the man.
But yeah, no, I'm going to continue to sit Robert Tonyan. He just has not shown that he can be a playmaker in the Green Bay offense, especially when Aaron Rodgers is in his contract year. He needs to show that he can get the ball to everybody. And Robert Tonyan just isn't that guy. And I don't think Robert Tonyan is going to be that guy. So he's my sit.
All right. Well, it's halftime here in London.
Shouldn't Ack be saying that?
We're down 4-0, so it's looking good. Looking real good. Real good. My sit-em this week is tight end is Cole Kmet. Jimmy Graham was already a bad option for Justin Fields. And he went down. He's on the IR. Cole Kmet had his best game in week 1 with Andy Dalton. It doesn't seem like Justin Fields is making – honestly, it doesn't seem like the Bears are making any attempt to play offensive football, to be honest. So Cole Kmet's not going to get targeted a ton. And he's going up against Tampa Bay. Yeah, I mean, that defense is insane. So, Cole Kmet, good night. I had Evan Ingram, but he's out, so I had to switch it.
He's starting. Playing.
Oh, he's not out? Well, never mind. I still want to go with Cole Kmet.
Fair enough. We do have a question from TS. Hoping that there it is. Wide receivers are Hopkins, Hollywood, and he's flexing Pittman. Should I plug Julio in there for PPR?
So what I would do is, I mean, it doesn't even matter about the spots, but I would put Pittman as my wide receiver 2 and plug Julio in over Hollywood. Really? The reason I would do that is because Hollywood is very hit or miss. He's not a reliable fantasy player. He's a boom or bust at this point, and I don't think he's going to boom this game. Ravens are going against Cincinnati's defense, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't like Hollywood. I don't like Hollywood in this offense, especially because they're already trying to look at Rashad Bateman a little bit more. And they have Mike Andrews in the system as well. And Lamar Jackson isn't really a pass first guy. He's looking for a hole that he can run through and run for 20 yards to get his offense up the field. So I don't like Hollywood. I don't really like Julio either, but I think Julio has a better game than Hollywood this week.
I was going to say Julio really has not performed ever this week or this year so far. That's my only thing. I personally don't think this is the game that, and I know I was talking about Tannehill and he's going to have to move the ball through the air. I think Julio could be a part of that. I just don't think that he's going to be a major part of that. Whereas Hollywood, even though he is hit or miss, the past couple of weeks, hang on, where is he? The past couple of weeks, he has put up 6, 33, 19, where his last 3 weeks. You see all ends of the spectrum. You see his floor, which was 6 last week. You see his ceiling, which was 35, and then his 19-point game. You know, I would put my faith in Hollywood Brown there, just assuming that he'll not fall flat on his face versus a poised Bengals defense.
No, I feel that. I feel that in every aspect. But what I'm trying to say is that Julio, I feel like in PPR format, is going to get more targets. And when you get more targets as Julio Jones, who is, don't get me wrong, one of the best wide receivers we've seen in our day and age.
Yes.
He's going to catch the ball. He's going to get his targets, especially with Tannehill, who is trying to establish himself in a pass first, or not a pass first offense, sorry. He's trying to establish himself as a quarterback in the NFL. And when you have guys like Julio on your team, you pass him the ball. So I think Julio gets more targets. I think he gets more receptions. And in the PPR league, I trust Julio more than I do Hollywood.
Justin, break our tie.
I play Pittman.
You got to pick 3, and the question is, where do you plug in
I'm looking
Julio?
at it. Sorry, I'm looking at it. I was typing my own question. I have another question. Hopkins Hollywood. I wouldn't plug Julio in anywhere. That's just me. It's just a thing for me, I guess. Like I said, I choose a lot of my decisions off gut feeling. He hasn't performed in Tennessee at all. I don't know if Tennessee is just a place where players go to die. Jadeveon Clowney was there last year and almost died. So I don't know. I just don't trust Julio. He'll prove me wrong at one of these weeks, but right now I will say though, it's not like starting Julio isn't terrible because I know that AJ Brown had been like really, really sick last week. He had like food poisoning or something. So I don't know how healthy he's going to be or how well he's going to be able to, well conditioned and not. Question from Ben Lowe Podcasting Network. Pick 3: DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin.
Pick
well,
3.
Samuel and Kupp are locks.
I agree.
Okay,
Samuel and Kupp are locks, and in this situation, I'm going to go Godwin as my 3rd pick.
Me as well.
Great. I already made those changes. Thanks, guys. Just reassuring myself. Awesome. I don't know how DK Metcalf doesn't have.
He has Geno Smith.
He has Geno Smith.
Well, I know. I'm talking about DK in regular, even with Russell. He doesn't do that well. He is too good on Madden. He needs to be worse on Madden because he's so good, and he sucks in real life. All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't go far as to say he sucks.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't suck.
All right. What's the one play you remember about DK Metcalf? What's the one play, if you think about it, that you think of one play in the pros?
He chased down Buda Baker.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So
which proves that he has speed. So if he can, if he can
athleticism, determination, heart, he's got all of it.
You guys can go ahead and play the devil's advocate here. All that
I think you're playing devil's advocate.
If your first thought about a receiver is them chasing down someone who just threw an interception, like, you know what? Sure, whatever.
So then you should love Odell Beckham because his one memorable play came when he was a receiver.
What are you talking about?
You said you shouldn't like any players or any player that you remember chasing down instead of being a receiver is a bad player. Then you should love having Odell Beckham on your team because his one play that everyone remembers was a catch when he was playing receiver. So Odell Beckham should be your favorite player and your favorite receiver is what I'm hearing.
You're making no sense.
I think Asher is picking up what I'm putting down.
Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
Yes.
I'm angry. I don't care.
I'm angry. I don't care.
Defenses, sleep defenses. I have Chicago. I think Tom Brady might put up 7 touchdowns.
We are currently on your. Did we get your tight end? I think we did. So we're on sit-em defense.
Yeah,
not quite at the end of the show.
That's what I just said.
Okay, well you said sleeper, so I wanted to just clarify.
Oh yeah. No.
Tom, you know what? You'll be running the show next week, okay, buddy? You're going to run the show.
What's going on?
Justin's just mad because he's watching soccer.
No, I pitch Chicago as my sit-em defense. There's no way that the just Chicago.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Asher, who do you have?
So this is going to be actually it's not really that odd, but I'm going Seahawks defense against New Orleans. I feel like this is the game that Jameis Winston blows up. I know he's super inconsistent, but when you have a porous pass defense, Jameis Winston seems to capitalize. Yep. So I think Jameis Winston has an awesome game, and I think Seahawks are the defense to sit this week.
So I would just say the thing with Jameis at the beginning of the year, obviously at that first game versus the Packers, we had 5 touchdowns. It seems like Sean Payton is like kind of slowly opening up the playbook more and more each week. Mm-hmm. Like, when do we think that he'll give Jameis like the full playbook? Like, well, the full playbook will be in play. Like, when do we see that happening? Because I think if that happens, Jameis's value has to go up a lot in fantasy, I would think.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. Oh, you're good.
I'm waiting for you.
All right. Well, I think that honestly that could come this week, especially now. And I think the biggest thing that's going to open up Jameis's is passing options is the fact that Tre'Quan Smith comes back fully healthy. We've seen him use Deontay Harris. We've seen him use Marquez Callaway. And there's one more receiver off the top of my head that I'm forgetting at this moment in time. But Justin's gone.
There he goes.
But I think that this is the time where he finally gets all of his receiving weapons back, and he could potentially piece some nice drives together to prove that he deserves to open up the playbook.
I feel you. Whose defense are we on? Sit.
I have my last defense, and I kind of cheated a little bit, but there should be 0 defense in the Tennessee-Kansas City game, so like probably shouldn't be playing either. I don't know why you would have the Tennessee defense in general, but there should be no defense whatsoever in that game. So,
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Asher.
Oh, no, I already went.
Yes, okay, we are now moving on to our sleepers, or sleeper quarterbacks.
I'll go ahead and start with this one if you want.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so my sleeper quarterback this week is going to be Matt Ryan. He's not your usual sleeper quarterback any other year, but he is my sleeper quarterback considering that he's facing Miami Dolphins. You got Calvin Ridley back in your system. You have Kyle Pitts. Matt Ryan is still a quarterback that can throw TDs when he needs to. And against Miami, who else is he going to do it against? So I'm going for Matt Ryan.
All right. I looked at all my terrible picks and I was like, you know what? I can actually come up with a good reason for Matt Ryan, but clearly not. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get just the sleeper quarterback. I'm just going to go the other side of the field with Asher. I'll just go to Tua.
Both these teams are... God damn you.
Nice. Great. Both these teams are pretty bad. And like I said, like you said with Matt Ryan, Asher, I do think Matt Ryan eventually has a better game and is the better overall player, clearly. But you know what? You never know what you're going to get from Atlanta's defense. So I had to make the pick on the fly. I'll change to Tua. Tom, now you can make a pick on the fly.
I'm not making a pick on the fly.
The funny thing is I was actually going to go with Tua. But
of course, because we're all on the same wavelength here. Like,
well, I would say
I had Tua on my list, but I'm also starting Matt Ryan this week. It was a huge pickup that I needed to grab because I have Justin Herbert on bye, and I also Wilson's on the IR. So,
yeah, Tom, who are we starting in that league?
In which league?
The one league where we have Herbert.
Sam Darnold and Joe Burrow are our 2 quarterbacks for the week.
Good.
Since I've already heard the argument on Tua, I'm gonna step out real quick.
Go for it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm sticking with Tua because all these trade rumors that have been swirling around. I know we talked about this a little bit, but all the trade rumors that are swirling around with Deshaun Watson and whether or not he's the quarterback of the future, yada yada. I think Tua is going to come out and with a vengeance, and he's going to try and play great. We saw him play really well last week versus Jacksonville and London. They didn't come out with the dub, but I think he put up like 30, 35 points. I could see the same thing kind of happening here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So while Asher's out, I guess we can just kind of get to it because I know we talked about Deshaun Watson earlier. Mm-hmm. If you're the Dolphins, what are you willing to give up for Deshaun Watson? And we'll just for the basis of this hypothetical, we'll say that like in the end, he's like cleared of not cleared. He's still a bad, weird person, but like legally he's cleared. So like what is the value you're going with for Deshaun Watson? And you have to remember that he wouldn't have played. He's not going to play this year. So he's coming off a full year off.
Yeah. A year out of his prime is brutal from a perspective of strictly football. But it also gives him time to rest. Not that he really needs it because he's so young and still in his prime, like I mentioned. But if he's fully legally cleared and he doesn't have any repercussions, a guy like Watson, I think, could be worth, 3 first-round picks, maybe 2 firsts and a solid player, a young player, a piece. But As of right now, what his value is, probably a bag of footballs and a bucket of chips. Yeah, some of the nachos from Baker's Place on those commercials.
Give me a 12-pack of Bud Light, and I'll give you Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. That's where it's at right now, at least. But yeah, if everything ends up going in his favor, which I don't really think any of us really think is going to go that way, he's, I think, easily worth at least 3 first-round picks, probably more since he's in his prime, and he is a top 5 quarterback when he's on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. You just wonder with him. All right, let's get to our sleepers some more. We just did the quarterbacks, the Tua. You went with Tua as well, Tom. All right. Let's move on to the sleeper running backs. I'm not going to do you, Tom, because I think you have mine. Asher.
I don't. I guarantee you.
So I have a sleeper running back that most people would see as a running back 1, but I'm going Miles Sanders. I'm going Miles Sanders because I think that team this year has been going back and forth between Kenneth Gainwell and Miles Sanders, but I think Miles Sanders has proven that he should be the running back 1, and I have a weird feeling that he's going to absolutely blow up this week. I have a feeling that Miles Sanders is going to have a 20-plus point week this week. It's a bold prediction that I've already made, but I think Miles Sanders is going to have a hell of a game, so he's my sleeper running back.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, Tom.
I guarantee you don't have this, Justin. I am going with one Darrell Williams versus Tennessee at KC's backfield. He hasn't. I don't want to say that he's played tremendously. I don't know. I haven't been following his stats, but like I said, Tennessee is not a good defense just in general. I know Mahomes really likes to air it out, and the Chiefs like to air it out as well. But Williams has had success, I believe. Pulling it up now because I know who has him in my fantasy. He put up 22 points last week versus Washington. When he was, is that the first week he was a full-time starter?
Yes.
Okay. 22 points last week versus Washington. Not saying he's going to recreate that per se, but a lot of people versus Tennessee just immediately go to think like, okay, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce are all going to blow up, which could be true. But I also think Darrell Williams out of the backfield could get some PPR touches, maybe break something for a big run or two, and anything inside the goal line that is going to be a run. Like, I really don't know who's behind him on the depth chart, so it should be Damian Williams, I believe. So I think he could put up a solid day when most people are not expecting it.
I'm so glad I changed my quarterback and running back for my sleepers this week because I had Darrell Williams.
Did you really?
Listed on my list right now. I'm looking at it right now. Darrell Williams was my sleeper running back before I decided to switch it last second.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right, my sleeper is Chase Edmonds, Arizona. I have a feeling they're going to get up early, and the whole second half is going to be running. I know they have James Conner as well.
Siphoning off touchdowns. Piece of shit.
But it would not surprise me if Edmonds finds the end zone 3 times today. I do think they're going to kill the Texans. And yeah, like I said earlier, anyone on the Cardinals you could start because the Texans are terrible, and the Cardinals maybe are the best. Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
If I had to pick one team, in my opinion, it'd probably be the Buffalo Bills. I think they have,
except for their decision making. Because
no, I think they have. Yeah, but I think they have the best overall chance of winning the Super Bowl. I don't think the Cardinals have it. I think the Cardinals are a good team, but I don't think they have the right team to beat the Buffalo Bills, in my honest opinion.
I think that the Cardinals are not even the best team in the NFC. I very much like the Buccaneers still as well. I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady. That offense is looking explosive. That defense, when they get their corners and their secondary back healthy, it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Not the answer you are looking for, I know, but
I think he's still watching the game. I think he's still pissed off.
Would you
5-0. It's now 5-0.
Oh my gosh, it's a murder, bro. I'm sorry.
That's brutal.
Yeah, and it's at home too. Pretty sure the coach is going to be fired, and if he's not fired, I will be taking the first flight out of Johns Hopkins Airport to Manchester.
Oof.
What were we talking about?
We are, unless you have anything else to add about Chase Edmonds.
The best team in the NFL.
Oh, the best team in the NFL. Oh, I don't think it's the Cardinals. I think they're probably the second best team. I'm not sold on the Bills. I think Josh Allen is awesome, but I also think he is the perfect quarterback that once you get into the playoffs, he's going to throw – there's just going to be a game where he throws like 3 interceptions because he's not on – his mental game is not on every game. They should have beat the Titans last week. I actually loved the call and going for it, especially if you only need 12 inches and you have Josh Allen. I'm just not sold on Josh Allen. I really am not. He has Stephon Diggs around him, who's really, really good. I mean, he doesn't have the best weapons, but like everyone gets on Baker and everything else for these dumb interceptions. Josh Allen has made some of the dumbest football plays I've seen in the last 2 years. He's been a part of quite a few of them. So I'm not sold on the Bills at all. I think the Chiefs. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
you're good. Well, I guess I think the AFC is completely wide open. I think it's completely wide open. I think the NFC, you have about 3 to 4 teams. I think the AFC is completely wide open. Like I said, I'm not sold on the Bills, but I do think the best team in the NFL is still the Bucs. Then I'd probably go Cardinals, and then I'd probably go
Kansas City,
Rams, or Cowboys. I actually do. I guess we could talk about that too. I actually do think Kansas City's in trouble.
Kansas City's absolutely in trouble. Yeah.
If we wanted to, we can talk about this. I would say tomorrow, Asher, if you're around tomorrow, whenever we record.
Yeah.
But we do have about 20 minutes to kick off, so I think we should try and get through the rest of our sleepers here. And then if anyone has any last minute questions that we get, or if we find anything on Twitter, we can do that as well.
I like it.
All right. Sleeper wide receivers, Tom.
I am going with one Darnell Mooney. I know that I have been absolutely bashing the Bears and their offense this week. How does it feel, Asher? Get wrecked.
Now I know how it feels.
Now you know how it feels. Now I've had it like every time you've been on. It's been fine.
Yeah. You guys think alike, I guess.
Corey, that's what Corey would say if he were here. He said it every time you snaked me. It'd always be gray minds think alike, man. Anyway, Darnell Mooney. I know that I've been bashing the Bears, especially the running backs. I don't believe that this is the offensive explosion week that we're going to see from Justin Fields by any means. But we talked about Allen Robinson, how he's underperforming. Not that it's his fault. I think Darnell Mooney is the one guy that could potentially find a crease or two and go for a big yardage play and maybe land a touchdown. So I'm going to start Darnell Mooney as a flex potentially just based on the fact that bye weeks are a bitch. There goes Justin. Asher, I'm assuming you are going to stick with Mooney with me, or are you going to?
No. I'm going to go another route. I don't want to keep going on with this this tag team that we decide to have the same players in every aspect of fantasy football. I wanted to go Jalen Waddle at first, but I don't really see him as a sleeper anymore.
I have him as a starter. Yeah,
I see Jalen Waddle more as a starter. So my pick this week is going to be. Sorry, I just had it on the top of my mind. Where is he at? Sorry, 1 second. Oh yeah, Rashad Bateman for the Ravens. That was like my third sleeper this week. Between him, Darnell Mooney, and then I had another wide receiver on there. But Rashad Bateman, I think this week the Ravens are going to target him heavily. I think they want to see what they want to do with their wide receiver core. I think they want to see what Rashad Bateman can do for that team. Like I said, I don't like Hollywood for the specific reason that I understand that he's good for the long routes, but I think as a slot receiver that Bateman plays so well in, I think Bateman's going to have a better game, and I think Bateman actually has a breakout performance this game. So I think Bateman's going to be my sleeper this week.
Love the pick. Absolutely love it. He should be a game changer for Lamar, especially in the red zone.
Absolutely.
Ravens suck.
Love it.
Welcome back.
My sleeper wide receiver is Tom. Actually mentioned him earlier when he was talking about Darrell Williams. My sleeper is Mecole Hardman. Tyreek Hill is going to be see a little bit less action than usual because he's tweaked his hamstring. So I would think that Mecole Hardman is probably going to run a lot of the deep routes today. And I just think if there's anyone else maybe other than Henry Ruggs who can give you kind of like a Tyreek Hill feel without him actually being there, I think it's Mecole Hardman. I think he has a good game. I think Patrick Mahomes bounces back. Once again, he has to hate his life so much, but I like Mecole Hardman.
Can we just ban his brother from the stadium and like his wife from Twitter and like his mom?
Patrick Mahomes is doing everything right and his family is doing everything wrong.
This is, and Justin and I have talked about this. This is exactly why Aaron Rodgers cut off his family.
I mean, let's be real. Yeah, yes.
Probably. I mean,
it's every weekend. It's every weekend. So I'm sure you will see news about it this weekend. All right. Sleeper tight ends. Asher, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Anthony Firkser in Tennessee. I'm going to go with him because the simple fact that AJ Brown, obviously, like you said, he was dealing with a sickness. He might not be 100% going into the game. He might be, who knows? But you also have Julio Jones as your wide receiver too, who is coming off an injury. And in a pass heavy game where defenses are both going to be on edge this week against KC, I think Anthony Firkser might have a great day in the red zone. So I'm going to go Anthony Firkser as my red zone sleeper.
I got you. Tom, how about you?
I usually try to avoid taking Patriots, especially when they play the Jets. But I do have to recognize Hunter Henry has been playing amazing so far, and they are playing the Jets. I have to keep realizing that the Jets defense, while good, is on the field too often. They get tired. Hunter Henry has been an absolute fiend, especially in the red zone. Him and Mac Jones have a really solid connection. So I am going with Hunter Henry as my sleeper tight end.
Yeah, see, I had Jonnu Smith as my sleeper tight end too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. We were so close.
Yeah.
My sleeper is Zach Ertz. I would pick him up while you can now.
I forgot he's in Arizona now.
Yeah, I think he's going to become pretty reliable actually in Arizona if he can stay healthy and play anywhere near the form he had during his good years in Philadelphia. With how pass heavy that offense is, he's going to get a lot of touches and a lot of catches, and especially a lot of touches around the red zone. Because as great as DeAndre Hopkins is and how strong he is and how good of hands he is, he's not the greatest red zone target like a guy like Allen Robinson or guys that are over 6'3", 6'4". But
there's so many options in that offense. It's hard.
It's crazy. I mean, you even look at like Christian Kirk is one of their. It's got to be like their third, fourth option, and he's a beast. So, yeah.
I mean, look at Rondale Moore.
Right.
Let's be real. He's like the wide receiver 5, and he's still making moves.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of surprising that nobody saw this coming, but it is surprising. I didn't think that. I mean, the Cardinals are so young. I agree with you guys. I think they're more like next year and the years after are going to be more their real contender years, but they've impressed so far this year. And then sleeper defense. Tom, just go through these real quick.
Yeah, I know this is one of the better defenses in the league, but matchup-wise, everyone's talking about this being a shootout. I could very much see, however, Baltimore's defense absolutely shutting down Cincinnati. Everyone's talking about how Burrow's going to throw him back in the game, like Justin said before, how Mixon can maybe rip off a big run, this, that, or the other thing. I could see Baltimore, who's been playing super hot right now, and shutting down the Chargers to just 6 points. I could see the Bengals going and posting up an egg.
Asher.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 49ers defense for the specific reason that I feel like this is kind of like it almost became like an interleague rival between NFC and AFC. I think San Francisco doesn't like Indianapolis, and I don't think the Colts like San Francisco, considering the defensive battles they've had and trading players back and forth. So I think San Francisco is going to come into this game against Indianapolis and put on a show.
My sleeper defense, I'll tell you guys all about what's going on in a sec. My sleeper defense is New England. I don't think New England's defense is very good, but they're playing against Zach Wilson. So unless you have a dominant defense, you might as well throw them out there, because last time they played this team and this quarterback, they probably had like 30 points. So whatever.
Yes, sir.
Kind of throw that out there. That's pretty much all I got. So yeah, we just got red carded too, so that's good. I don't. Anything else? Has anyone seen any injuries pop up? Anything like that?
No, I've been
the injury report's pretty final right now.
Yeah, I've been posting up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Devontae Parker is still uphill battle to play.
Is he?
When do they play?
Devontae Parker. So Miami plays the 6 o'clock window. Sorry, the early window for you guys.
The 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find our picks from last week. I can't find them right now.
I don't have mine, but if we need to end a little early, that's fine.
I'll just do quick 5 games. Just pick the winner real quick. All right, let's do Monday night game, New Orleans and Seattle.
Straight up to win?
Yeah.
New Orleans.
I pick New Orleans as well. Let's do Jets Patriots.
What do you got, Tom?
I'm going to stand by because I am a homer, so I don't give a fuck if I get this wrong. Fuck the Patriots and fuck Boston.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Jets as well.
Yeah, Let's go.
I'm going Jets.
Let's make it a threesome, boys. I was going to pick the Jets as well. I was going to pick the Jets as well. I don't know. It just seems like this might be a time where they finally can pick them off.
Exactly. So. This is. If you had any better time as the Jets, this is the time to beat New England.
All right. Let's go. The toilet bowl. Atlanta, Miami.
Miami.
I'm going to go with Atlanta.
I'm also going to go with Atlanta as well. All right, let's do Chicago. No, okay, never mind.
Tampa Bay. I'll put it in right now.
No, Indy at San Francisco. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I agree, San Fran. Tom?
I'm also going to go San Fran.
And then we'll do Kansas City, Tennessee.
Oh.
Honestly, I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee as well.
Real? I thought I was going to be the only one. No cap.
No, I'm going Tennessee. Derrick Henry's going to run all over that defense.
That's my thought too. He's going to have a very similar game as last week and the week before that.
They're going to rely heavily on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to run all over that defense.
The Chiefs can't stop the run as is. Trying to stop Derrick Henry is a different breed of stopping the run.
Absolutely.
Well, we can all laugh about this next week when I got it right, and I'm picking Kansas City.
Fair enough.
All right, so that is going to do it. Asher, I think at this point we are just going to do it. You're going to be a permanent member unless you tell us you can't be. As long as you're cool with that.
Absolutely, I love it.
Like I said, Tom will give me your number, and we'll get. I don't know if we'll do a group chat, but we all contact throughout the day. Things like that.
I just been messaging Asher on Facebook Messenger, so I can make a group of the three of us.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, we'll plan on that. But other than that, hopefully our picks do well. Oh, I had 2 picks to give out. I honestly, one of my picks that I actually did bet, I took the Jets +7. And then I did take Cleveland, the over on Thursday. But my other one is Cincinnati, Baltimore over 46.5. Yeah. So that's it. We will see you guys next Sunday. Obviously, me and Tom will be back tomorrow to recap everything.
Not sure if he's around. He can.
Yeah.
We may have to text me.
We may have to move times around, which shouldn't be an issue, but we might have to do that. But yeah, absolutely. But any last words, fellas? Are we good to go? Let's go watch some football. I'm just very happy the Browns aren't on. I got to tell you, I am.
Well, I'm happy I don't have to deal with another Vikings mystery game. For the past 6 games, we've went through everything that one team probably has in their entire franchise in the first 6 games.
So I guess you know what we can all say. We're Jets fans today. Tom, we're both with you because both of our teams are off, so we're both with you. We need the Jets to win. But after that, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Tom, any last words?
Sco Dogs.
Let's go Jets.
Sco Dogs, Gangrene, whatever you want to put out there.